Check 1, 2. This is a sound check for GC Video News. This is a sound check for GC Video News. Sound checking GCVideoNews.com. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Distorted. Is it distorted real bad?
It got better. In the beginning, you just said it's distorted real bad. It's not now. But see, like in the background, when it's quiet, it's like a, you know, like when there's an ultrasound? It sounds like that.
Okay.
Just every now and then, like now it's not doing it really. The thing out the door.
So when it's quiet in here, that's when you get the feedback, correct?
Yeah, like it really, like when it first came on, it was distorted and had feedback, and then it kind of calmed down, and then you talked and it was okay, and then it started again just a little bit.
Okay. It should come up. We're about 1 minute. We're about a minute delay. That's fine.
So we're going to go back out there.
We disable HD. Talk there for a minute, Mr. Ricky Peck.
Talk?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that, but
that's why I said talk.
kind of windy on occasion.
Keep talking for me.
But where's everybody at?
Can we go back out there?
Oh, it starts at 7.
I know that, but I thought maybe there'd be some people here though. I don't know, but this room kind of got an echo. We need to put some.
That's what we're trying to get the echo worked out. We're hoping when more people gets in here. Yeah. Right now, it sounds like it's distorting.
Yeah.
A little bit, but we're hoping that.
That's a nice little appearance for some better than this.
I just limited the bandwidth on the broadcast to see if that would take it out some.
Yeah. What? Can't tweak it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, but I should have brought a mixer board, ran the sound to a mixer board and back out.
Yeah. That would work.
Does it sound any better out there, Amy? Stand there in front of the window for me. We're about 45-second delay on broadcast is what I got to sit in.
Yeah.
You found that or not?
John had pretty derby that night, didn't he?
Oh, well. Hey, we had some people show up over there. The one over there.
Drag race?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they
got
raced.
Lost or something.
Well, no, they raced first and then come on over.
No, they come off the interstate, I reckon, and turned that way. There was two trucks. They had, you know, and I didn't know I was worth the game. And this one boy come in, and I took his money, and the other guy come in, he says, "Is this
If you don't mind checking the microphone there real quick.
Hey, I want to remind everybody here that before we get started, if you have any questions that you would like to see asked, we have some paper and pencils outside there on the table as you came in this room. Well, jot those down and get them up here to me, okay? Not promising you they'll be asked, but you know, it's time for me as well as questions, answer some questions from the audience, okay? Thank you. Mark, is that good? We have music, so
Is that firm?
I've also told you guys, I've got some extra paper here. In case you want to take any notes of what somebody said, you know what I mean, to be used later against them, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, I think it's all.
Man, they both got big kids on them. Nope. We both got big kids on them.
How's the acoustics now?
Good. Yeah, well, check it real quick.
You were all excited.
Put yourself to something.
Man.
What's that very with? I can like all
Where's he go? To David Hall. Turn it upside down there and put it up. Well, so we'll go behind it. Kind of. Yeah, we need to wait.
I have that effect on Okay.
How you doing? Good, sir. You are busy. Be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You look good.
Good. That's all I'm worried about. I've seen that happen. It's not said. Just use the internal clock. How about that happen? It's okay.
You got about 3 minutes, 2, 3 minutes. Sometimes, you know, sometimes. And we make fun of people. Just whenever you get ready to.
I'm just waiting for my thumbs to say 7. So
Judge don't get here.
what?
If Judge don't get here, go ahead and start it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not waiting on it. I'm waiting for no name.
Exactly. Hey, he'll learn next time.
All right. All right. It's 7 o'clock. Hi, guys. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to tonight's political forum. In case you don't know, let me give you. You probably figured out where the restrooms are out there. We do have restrooms right out there. Tonight's forum is. You notice I didn't use the word debate. It's a forum, and it's going to be a friendly forum. We don't want to turn into a spitting contest or anything like that. That's why in this county, the 2 of these I've been involved with have been forums. They've been friendly, and hopefully, as a result of them, you'll get to understand more. You get to understand your candidates, how they are on the issues, and that sort of thing. As I did say, I have received some cards from folks who asked some questions. If those questions are not covered already by the remarks that the candidate makes, I'll do my best to get those questions asked. Okay. So please keep that in mind. So remember, this is a friendly forum, and the key word is friendly. So let's keep that in mind if we could. I'm going to go over some general guidelines for the forum, and I'll try not to move. It doesn't matter, does it? Because it's video. That's right. It does movement and sound and all kinds of stuff. We are being recorded here live on Gallatin County Video News. This is being sponsored by the Gallatin County Republican Party and Gallatin County Video News. And so we're all glad to have them on board, help us get the word out. Let's see, each candidate, the way it's going to work is this: each candidate's going to have up to 3 minutes to make an opening statement. I'll be the timekeeper. And then also, each candidate, after they make their statement, I'll start asking questions. I'm the moderator. Each candidate will have up to 3 minutes to answer the moderator's questions. I'm going to say this too, with one exception, the candidates will be asked the same questions. Okay? Candidates will alternate turns answering the questions. That way the candidates don't, one person don't have to always go first. It's not fair that way. Appropriate written and signed questions from the audience will be asked by the moderator as time permits. What is appropriate? It's whatever I happen to deem that's appropriate, okay? I'm not going to say anything personal. We're not going to ask anything like that. It's going to be friendly. Each candidate will have up to 7 minutes for a closing statement and rebuttal, at which time the candidate is free to comment on any issue or any comments made by his competition, if there's anything he wants to rebut, I guess is the word. If there are any unopposed candidates here or candidates with no competition present, these folks can make remarks to the audience not lasting more than 5 minutes. And as of right now, we have one such person here. I even made myself a little list here to fill out for all these people. And I've just got one lone name on it, and it is Mr. Grant Axon. Grant is running for the office of county attorney. And we're going to begin tonight by letting Grant go ahead and make whatever remarks he wants to make to the crowd. Let's see some. Oh, there we go. I see another one just came in who's going to want to say a few remarks too. It might be hard to keep him to 5 minutes, so okay. I'm going to start off with you, Grant, okay?
All right. Thank you, David. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I know many of you, and a few I do not, and so I'll introduce myself. I'm Grant Axon. I have been in the county here for almost 10 years. I've moved all over the country, so I hate to tell you where I'm from. I owned a trucking company for about 16 years, and before becoming involved in the law, I graduated from the University of Louisville Law School, and I've been practicing here in Gallatin County for the last couple of years. As I've been here the last few years, I have learned the good things and the bad things, and unfortunately, I think there's a few issues that we could do a little better on as a county. I respect highly my competition in this race. I consider Mr. Wright a personal friend. I also think that there are some things that could be done better. I don't know that it is a big secret that we have an incredibly high recidivism rate in this county. If you read the newspaper, you'll notice the same names over and over and over again. That's a problem. It's a problem that we need to correct. In addition to that, you probably do not know, but many people that are arrested are not convicted of the crimes they're arrested of. That's another problem that we need to correct. And one issue that is dear to my heart is that at current, we have basically two options. We let folks go, or we send them to prison. And I think that there's a huge opportunity for us to embrace community corrections in this county. I can give you a statistic. Specifically in Kentucky, it's approximately $15,000 a year to house the average offender. Now, that may be for a few months, and it may be for the entire year, but as an average, we're looking at a little over $15,000. There are counties in Kentucky that do embrace community corrections, and they're spending a little over $500 a year to correct the behavior that needs to be corrected. The programs that are available are immense. Kentucky has approved many of them through statute, and there are programs across the country that allow us the opportunity to try things out, to embrace these different ideas, to give folks that need a little assistance with some bad behavior, that assistance, and let them back into the community. So it's my hope that through this election that I'll have the opportunity to get to know each one of you, to sit down and talk to you about these things. You've probably noticed some newspaper advertisement that I've put out. I'll let you know that every statistic that I publish comes directly from the Kentucky State Police or the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet. They're all available, and I'd be more than happy to discuss any of those with anyone. Again, thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope to get a chance to talk to each of you, and please feel free to stop by my office anytime.
Thank you very much. At this time, we've had another candidate come in that we're also going to give him his 5 minutes and mine right here. Y'all don't know, this is Rick Rugerman, and Rick is running for circuit judge, I do believe, and he let his job go encompass Gallatin County, and he's a good guy. If we can keep him to 5 minutes, though, we'll be doing something extra special.
We'll see to it. Well, good evening, and I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. And I'm glad I was invited down here. I've met some of you. I have a lot of good friends and family in Gallatin County. I live in Beaver Lake, which is just on the other side of the line. Many of you might remember I ran for district judge in 2010, and it was an extremely close race in the general, and I'm happy to report that I won here in Gallatin County. Thank you very much. I think that just a little bit about me that I'll share with you is I think that judges should be humble, and the first legal treatise that was written in America said that very thing. I come from a humble background. The last grade I finished in school was the 8th. I worked full-time when I went through school to get my GED, went through college, and when I got in law school, I was scared to death because I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I already had a few kids. I have 11 now. But I already had a few children, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but God really blessed me. I ended up being first in my class, got the Chase Academic Excellence Scholarship, and that paid for my way through. It's been a long time ago now. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it has been. I know what it's like to work hard, and I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. The other thing I'll tell you, the only thing I can really promise you, because judges can't commit to rule anyway, but I will promise you that I will uphold my oath to the Constitution. I'm very dedicated to the Constitution. And I will also tell you that I think someone who becomes a judge is going to be judged more strictly when they get before the Almighty Judge on Judgment Day. And that scares me, so I pray for God's will, and I promise you that I will endeavor to be fair and impartial if I'm elected. So if you have any questions at all of me, please seek me out. Feel free to call me. And thanks again for the opportunity, and thanks for your vote last time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Rick. We really do appreciate it very, very much. And he was 2 minutes and 17 seconds, so we did very, very well. It's a record. It's a personal best. All right. At this time, we're going to start with the questions, and we're going to start off. Now we're going to do the sheriff's part first, then we'll do the coroner's part. So don't y'all lose interest over there. You know, not all. That'd be bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with opening statements by each candidate. You've got up to 5 minutes to make any kind of opening statement you want to make. All right. And this time I'm gonna go ahead and start with Josh. Okay.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Start out, most of you know who I am, Josh. 4 years ago, I was elected sheriff. Give you a little background. I started my law enforcement career in 1997 with the Department of Corrections. In 1999, I graduated Eastern Kentucky University Department of Criminal Justice Academy. I was stationed in Western Kentucky through Kentucky State Parks. In 2000, I came to work here in Gallatin County for Cliff Higgins. 2010, I ran for office the first time. I was lucky enough to be elected thanks to the citizens of Gallatin County. Since then, the 4 years, we've laid a foundation that we're asking to build on. That's why we're running for re-election. We've laid the groundwork, and we're asking to start building upon the stones and start keep moving Gallatin County forward.
Thank you. And we'll just pass the microphone. That'll be fine. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you at home and the internet service that allows people that are not here to watch this and be a part. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ryan Morris. I'm a lifelong resident of Gallatin County. My parents are David and Shirley Morris. My grandparents were Paul and Betty Williamson of Steele's Bottom, and most of you probably referred to him as Brother Morris. I called him Papa, and Miss Morris of Warsaw. And I am, again, a lifelong resident. I graduated Gallatin County in 1998. I graduated Northern Kentucky University with a degree in criminal justice in 2007. Following college, I worked at the Grant County Jail for 4 months and left there to work with juveniles who were convicted of crimes that resulted in their incarceration. I was a counselor for the Department of Juvenile Justice in Crittenden, and I worked there for a year at a facility called Northern Kentucky Youth Development Center, and helped counsel children to understand the wrong that they did and try to make it right and try to get them on the right path when they were released. In 2008, I married my wife Megan. We have 2 children, Reagan, who is 3, and a little boy, Jasper, who is 9 months. Right after we got married, I started working for the Gallatin County Sheriff's Department. Nelson Brown, the former sheriff, hired me in 2008, and I'm currently employed there now. I graduated the Department of Criminal Justice training in 2009, and I've enjoyed working the last 5 years, a little over 5 years, as the school resource officer in Gallatin County Schools. I'm seeking election for Gallatin County Sheriff, and there's a few things that I feel that I could bring to the table, a few things that I could change, a few things that I could lead our department and get us to the next level where we need to be. I want to get our department into community-oriented policing, being involved with the people that live here. Getting out, seeing people every day, traveling the roads every day. I want to create a drug task force that helps us fight the ever-growing heroin problem that we have in our community. That is very important, and we need to be proactive in doing that. I also want to expand the school resource officer program. I want to involve programs and initiate programs in every school that gets the entire sheriff's department involved, and not just the school resource officer. I want to increase hours in the sheriff's office, become more available to the public, and we will expand and continue the grant program to help offset some of the costs of operating the sheriff's office and help save taxpayer money so we can use it in other ways that are needed. Thank you. All right, thank you all very, very much. We're going to get right into the questions now, and since I let Josh go first on the opening statements, Ryan, I'll ask you the first question first, and if that makes sense. And so I'll ask the question, and I'll give you the microphone. Okay? Low budget operation, just one of these. All right, the first question, and this is the question and I'll repeat it for you too, if you like. Ryan, in terms of law enforcement, what do you see as the biggest issue facing the Gallatin County Sheriff's Department? And specifically, how would you work to handle these issues?
In terms of law enforcement, the biggest thing that I feel affecting the Sheriff's Department and its ability to do the job, I feel that manpower, everybody would love to have more manpower. Everybody would be able to have every issue that comes in and just have one person just focus on that. However, that's not possible. Many of our officers, we serve papers, we answer barking dog complaints, we handle serious thefts, serious crimes, all across the board. We are the initial officer, we are the detective, we are all those things. And we are also the drug officers. I feel that of all those things, the biggest problem that we face is fighting the drug problem, having enough time to be able to do that. While you're answering calls and you're trying to finish your cases and finish your accident reports, and then have time to go out and find the people that are breaking the law, that are selling drugs to the people in our community, or bringing drugs to our community, bringing heroin. I feel that is the biggest obstacle that we have to overcome. My plan to be able to attack that is to create a drug task force that is created inside the Sheriff's Department, made up of 2 or 3 deputies, and give those deputies the time to focus on just drugs. Many times we get focused on something and then we have to get pulled away because we get a call somewhere else. If we have the time, or if we have another officer, another deputy that is scheduled to be able to take those calls and give that drug task force the time to be able to focus on the people bringing those drugs in our community, I think that would be a huge asset. I think we need to be doing it. We cannot wait to do that. What we would do is create that drug task force and give them a certain number of hours a week where they can focus and build cases and ultimately convict those people who are responsible for bringing that to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'll repeat the question for Josh. In terms of law enforcement, what do you see as the biggest issue facing the Gallatin County Sheriff's Department? And how would you work to handle these issues?
All right, 4 years ago when I took office, it's quite evident we had a substantial amount of that problem in our county. Myself and the deputies, we worked diligently to attack that issue. And we were, at one time, we were taking down 2 or 3 meth labs a day in a 24-hour period. I think that manpower is a big issue, but we can only work with inside the budget that we're allowed. We attacked the drug issue very, very, very strongly. We have lowered the number of meth labs that have been taken out of the county. In those meth labs, we were arresting 3 to 4 people at a time. We were building the cases. As the officers go out, as they serve their papers, as they're taking their calls, they're collecting this information. They have people, they're having the citizens talk to them about stuff. Hey, I know something that's going on over here, something that's going on over there. So the community was very much actively involved because as neighbors of these people, seeing this activity, relayed it to the Sheriff's Department, whether through personal contact or calling the office or leaving tips, things like that. But drugs is a big part of our problem. And now that the methamphetamine wave is just kind of let up, and now we've been hit with the heroin wave. A year ago, I started working on the drug dog. I went to corporate sponsors. I called numerous handlers. I called numerous kennels that had these dogs. We could not get anything worked out. Then eventually we found one in Oldham County. Went and spoke with the fiscal court about it. They allowed us to purchase the dog and send an officer through the training. She has been a great asset for us as of so far. She has tracked down numerous burglars, people who've broken into houses, assaulted people, not only just for us, but for the neighboring counties too. So, you know, we want to keep going with the progress that we've made. And we keep fighting this issue every day. And every officer, we have 8 road guys plus myself. As we go out and work hour after hour, we talk to people and people let us know the issues that they see. On top of that, the courts, we get them into court, and then we have to proceed with the case there. So we build the cases against these people. We also have help through the Kentucky State Police and surrounding agencies, Fish and Wildlife, they help us with these cases. So we do it as a team. Everybody has to work together. And as a team, not only with the Sheriff's Department, but the public. Because, you all are an extra set of eyes. When we're driving down the road and if somebody sees us drive by a house, we may have an idea if there's something illegal going on. If somebody sees a particular activity as we drive by, extra set of eyes lets us know that, and then we know what they're doing. We get their patterns down. We have people call in about cars all the time. I see this car. I see that car. So with the help of the public, it really helps our job a lot. But, with the progress that we've made over the last 4 years, we have proved that crime rate is down 19% in the county. Those numbers come from the Kentucky State Police website. The numbers are there.
Probably I need to reemphasize the 3-minute thing on answers at this time, but that's all right so far. Everybody gets what's that called, a golf, a mulligan or something like that. You're going to get one of those. Very good. Thank you all. Very well done, actually. All right. Well, Josh, I'm going to give the microphone back to you in a moment because it's your turn to answer the question first. The next question is, what new programs or initiatives would you like to see begun by the Sheriff's Department? And how would you fund these programs?
All right, one of the things that I got an email about the other day is from the Kentucky Dare Academy. Kentucky Dare Academy has been centered around the 5th grade students, which I currently have been teaching now for 4 years. I graduated at Dare Academy. I've been teaching since 2008. The 4 years I've been here at Gallatin County, we've been teaching to the 5th graders. This program does not cost the county anything because what I do is we have a sheriff's calendar. And for those businesses out there know that what we do is there's a representative that goes around with me. We go to these businesses and we sell them an ad on this calendar. Once the calendar is printed, then whatever the cost is above and beyond that, we use for the children. That goes to buy their shirts for their graduation. It helps buy their cake for their graduation and medals and so on and so forth. They had, in past, had implemented the same class for the DARE for the 8th grade students. Well, they rewrote the curriculum, rewrote it, and now it's called Keep Moving Forward. And it's put on by the DARE Association, and we're looking to implement that into the 8th graders' grade level because they designed it to do the 5th grade because they were moving on towards the middle school, and now they're wanting to do the middle school, so when they move on to high school. So that way it gives the kids, as they move on up through school, an opportunity to learn different things about how dangerous these drugs are. And by implementing it up into the middle school, there is no cost to it because, I take the time out of the day now to teach 4 classes to the 5th grade students 2 days a week. They combine the classes together, and I have about 30 kids per class. And that allows me to get up in personal with the kids. And then they also have an understanding that the police are not here to arrest everybody. We're here to help them. We're here to educate them. And since 2008, I've loved teaching this program, and I look to expand it into the 8th grade and keep going. Another program is I've been out campaigning. A lot of people, I'm looking to maybe try to set up some times like quarterly. Quarterly go to Brother Sparta, Glencoe, Napoleon, there at the firehouse, and do community meetings because a lot of people want to be informed. A lot of people in that end of the county can come down to the meetings and be just like a public forum, just to sit around and talk, hear their concerns. A lot of people have expressed that to me from this campaign trail we've went around. So another thing, that don't cost us anything. It's just take the time out of the night to go up at 6 or 7 o'clock because I'm here to serve the people. And I think that's the least I can do.
All right. Now to you, what new programs or initiatives would you like to see done by the Sheriff's Department? And how would you fund these new programs?
As I said prior, community-oriented policing. That's where we need to be. We need to stop being reactive and start being proactive. We need to travel every road every day. There are an estimated 117 state highway miles and about 70 county highway miles in Gallatin County. If you add Sparta, Glencoe, and Warsaw, there's a few more miles there. So with that many miles, we can drive every road every day. We can drive past your house every day. We know what cars will be in your driveway, who will be at your house, and when we get familiar with that, we'll know when something's out of the ordinary. And funding for that will be nothing, because we should be doing that already. We have money built into the budget to patrol, have money built into the budget for fuel. We will use that money to patrol those roads. We will also conduct business checks. When your business that is here in the county, we will drive by, and at hours when your business is closed, we will drive by, walk the property, and check and make sure that your property is safe and secure. And we will give you a tag on your door letting you know when we were there and what time we were there, that everything was okay. Again, that will cost no money because we'll already be on patrol. What we will also do is conduct saturation patrols. When you call because you have a problem in your area, in your neighborhood, on your road, what we will do is we will get deputies together, we will target your road or your area, and we will monitor these violations of the law. That can be funded by the grant that I wrote for an LSF, Law Enforcement Support Fund. We can use that money to fund deputies to patrol violators on the road, and that will cost the county no money, but yet be funded with state funds. And we will use that money. We currently broke the grant. We have been successful in getting that grant for the last 3 years, and I look forward to us getting that grant for a 4th year. Hopefully we should know that by June, and we will start conducting saturation patrols.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you keeping, y'all doing a great job on the time. All right, Brian, I'll be coming right back to you. It's your turn to go first. Now and the question is why do you feel that your life experiences makes you the best candidate for Sheriff of Gallatin County?
Well, as I said earlier, I am a lifelong resident of Gallatin County. I'm not going anywhere. I want to raise my kids here, and this, to me, is the best place around. There's no better county to live in, and I want to be involved in this county. I want to lead our county. I feel that my education, I feel that my degree, the Department of Criminal Justice training, the numerous trainings and in-service classes that I've been to provide me with the foundation to be your sheriff and to lead the deputies and to lead our county in the many issues that face us. I feel that I am a leader, and I feel that through the experiences that I've had as a sports official, as leading groups of kids in school and talking to them, as being a counselor for the Department of Juvenile Justice, I feel that I have an understanding of how to talk to people, how to listen to them, and how to help them. And with those experiences, that's what makes me the best candidate. That's what I feel gives me the edge, being a leader, and also finding the leader in our department. All of the guys in our department are excellent deputies. They could go anywhere in this state and get a job. What I feel I can do is I can get the qualities that they have
and I can get it out of them, and I can get them to do great things for our county. We can put them in charge of programs within the department, and they will work for you, and this department will be the best place, and that in turn will make this the safest place for you. Thanks.
Okay, I'll repeat the questions. Why do you feel your life experiences make you the best candidate for sheriff of Gallatin County?
I've been doing this job for 17 years. 4 of those 17 years has been as your sheriff. When I took office 4 years ago, like I said before, we laid a decent foundation. We want to build on that. One of the main topics when I ran 4 years ago was the 24-hour coverage. When we put the 24-hour coverage on the streets, we have now seen where crime has reduced. We have seen accidents reduced. A while ago, I made a statement that crime reports are down 19% in my department. It's all directly affected by the 24-hour patrols because the guys are out there on the roads every day and every night. We do the community. We drive through all the subdivisions. I get feedback all the time that they see so-and-so drive through. We drive the roads. Lots of times the roads are driven at wee hours in the morning. A lot of you are not up that time of the morning, but we're still out there. We're still moving around. Accidents are down 22% in the county. And that's all because there's people out writing tickets. Our tickets are up. On top of that, our calls are up. Our calls are up over 1,200 annually. So, the last 4 years, the calls have gone up, the crime reports are down, and so is the accident reports. I think it's just a direct reflection of what our department has done for the county. The numbers are there at the state website. They're facts. Anybody can get them. With an open records request, we'll be more glad to get them. So, the last 4 years it's been proven. What we've done, what we put in place, I feel is better for the county. And that's where we want to build on that foundation.
Thank you very much. I believe that if y'all recall when I was reading the guidelines for the forum tonight, that I would say they'd all be asked with one exception, they'd all be asked the same question. This is the one exception. But I think after we ask it, you'll understand why we had to sort of change it just a little bit, okay? So please bear with me, and heck, I'm the moderator, so I can make those changes, I guess, if I want to. We'll see. It's good to be the candidate guy out today. Okay, so it's back to Josh, and so I'm going to say, Sheriff Neal, what do you feel are your biggest accomplishments over the last 4 years?
One of the biggest accomplishments I feel has been the opportunity to teach the DARE program to the kids, because as we just keep going with the drug issue, it all starts with education. And now that as of next month, we will graduate over 350 kids from that DARE program. So bringing that in, we're going to hopefully change the mindset as these kids go on up through school. The kids that I first started with are now freshmen. My goal is the next 4 years is to see how those children reflect as they move on up into high school and out into our community. Because they're our future. They're going to be the ones replacing us in a few years. They're going to be our neighbors, co-workers, family, and so on down the line. So the main objective that was to get that program in place, because to me, it's a wonderful program. And because our children are our future, and that's where we have to start.
Thank you very much. Hit reset before I forget. Okay. Deputy Morris, if elected sheriff, do you feel like that your administration, would you build on some of the successes that from the previous administration, or would you reinvent the wheel, or do you think it'd be a combination of both?
Thank you. I think the DARE program is a great thing. It educates fifth graders It gives them the foundation that they need to say no. It's that simple. What we need to build on is we can't just stop at fifth graders. You know, there are not too many fifth grade kids out there that are exposed to some of the things that high school kids are exposed to. So what we need to do is continue the DARE program, but then we've got to follow that up in middle school, and we have to follow that up in high school. And what we will do is some kind of like a mentoring program in the middle school. We have to get these kids that we know, that we can identify who are at high risk to turn to a life of drugs. We have to get them under our wing. We have to talk to them not only in school, but we need to visit their home. We need to be involved with them. We need to see them in the summertime. And we need to continue that. We can't just stop at the fifth grade. We have got to be with them the entire school year. We have to be with them their entire school career. So reinventing the wheel, no, but finishing the wheel, yes. That's what we'll do.
Thank you all very much. I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We do have time for a couple of questions from the audience. We received 5 questions from the audience. I believe 3 of them have been covered already. One was in terms of educating our children to the dangers of drugs, and one on addressing the heroin issue, that you both said that drugs were the major issue facing the county. I believe you all done a great job on that. And also, too, one was just a more general question on, why you think you're the man for the job. Okay, so I did get a couple of questions that were different, and frankly, I wish I'd have thought of them. There's some pretty good questions here, I'll tell you. The question was this. It says, week after week, we see the same people right back in the system. We see the jail report we see the jail report that's arresting the same offenders. Do you feel that the Attorney General's office is helping or hindering your office in cleaning up Gallatin County? If you believe they are hindering your office and seeing results that Gallatin County needs and expects to see, please explain. If you believe they are helping, then explain why we continue to see the same offenders on the street and they have been through the system repeatedly. That message is Chad Murray. So I believe last time, it's going to be Josh's turn.
All right. In 2009, Kentucky General Assembly got together and they passed House Bill 463. House Bill 463 paralyzed law enforcement. They changed the criteria to a lot of different drug-related offenses. By them doing that, they tremendously tied our hands. That's why you're seeing repeat multiple offenders come through the system. They lowered the threshold to numerous types of drugs, everything from pills to heroin, right on down the line. As of right now, possession of heroin, if you're convicted of it, is presumptive probation. That means they're probably going to give you a minimum of 3 years in lieu of serving 3 years on probation. They slap their hands, and then there's no real bite to it to say, don't do this again. In years prior to that, it was an automatic C felony, punishable up to 5 to 10 years. I can tell you that the years that I worked narcotics in Boone County with the city of Florence, we used to try to set up numerous deals to try to get people out of Ohio to come to Kentucky to do their deals. Numerous times. No, we won't come over there, because we know that if we do, that we're going to prison for a long time. When they passed House Bill 463, they opened up the floodgates. A lot of the people that I talk to now that overdose on heroin, after we have an opportunity to talk to them, if they can live through it, and then they talk about where they go to get it, we notify Anderson Ferry. They're driving across the river. The thing about heroin is it's so easily concealed. It's in such small, tiny amounts. That's why I feel that the drug dog that we brought on will be a huge asset, because once we target the group that's bringing it in, or by the ones that we talk to and we find out who's the transporters, then we can set up the opportunity to get the dog in the area and try to figure out where they're coming to and where their delivery and drop-off spots are. But yes, they tied our hands tremendously. I've been speaking with Senator Carroll and Senator Schiffel in reference to this problem, and they have put this back in front of the House. It failed at the committee the last time because time expired. I have been on the phone with both of those gentlemen in the last week and a half since it failed, and we're trying to put it back into session.
Thank you very much. You need the question repeated, sort of. It's just basic. It says, week after week, we see the same people right back in the system. We see the jail report arresting the same offenders. Do you feel that the county attorney's office is helping or hindering your office in cleaning up Gallatin County? If you believe they are hindering your office in seeing the results of Gallatin County, please explain why. If you believe the county attorney's office is helping, then explain why we continue to see the same offenders out on the street that have been through the system again.
County attorney, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
you told me attorney too.
No, different. It's not local people.
Well, shoot. Well, I'll tell you, go ahead, and I'll give you another minute. I apologize. Well, I was making these guys a whole lot more important.
In reference to the county attorney's office hindering or helping, I feel it's probably much more than just the county attorney's office. I think it starts with law enforcement, and then I think it brings into the county attorney's office and then I think when we get the judges involved. I think it's the system as a whole. I think it's a money issue, and I think that our officers can work better. I think we can continue to improve. We have made huge links in helping conviction rates. I feel that. I feel we have a great relationship there. To me, it doesn't matter who the county attorney is. If we don't work well with them, we're not going to be as effective at all. So, that's a tough question. But I feel that relationships can always improve. We can always work better, and that's with anyone who holds any office or any deputy that carries the badge. If we get the information and we build the case and we present it and it is airtight, then it shouldn't have a problem with it. Sometimes there are complications with any case that you work, and sometimes those things come out in court, and that sometimes would affect the conviction rate. But I think we have to work good together, and I think we do that, and I think it's a must, regardless of who's in that position.
And like I say, just take a minute, so that's on me.
All right. In relation to the county attorney's office, they have implemented, the court system has, through the county attorney's office, called CoreSoft. It is basically a community corrections program. If somebody for the first time comes in and they have been charged with possession of drug paraphernalia for having needles, they want to try to get that person help. And they will actually enter them into CoreSoft, because CoreSoft has the authority and the ability to force these people into rehab. Not all the time do they go to rehab. The last week we had 2 people that were under CoreSoft monitoring. They tested positive, and now both of them are sitting in jail. One's on a $5,000 bond, the other one's on a $150,000 bond. It's to do that to try to save their life. Yes, there is a lot of them that keep coming through. Yes, it all starts with the sheriff's department and law enforcement building tighter cases. So there's no loopholes to get them out of. But it all just starts back with the ground base. So as they get up into district court and on up into circuit court, that there is no loopholes for them to get out of. So I believe that, by everybody working together as a team, we have made a difference. We have stopped a lot of the repeats. Now, we still do have some. I admit that. But it's just trying to get them, because my motto is that if they keep getting out on something, keep putting them back in front of the judge, keep putting them back in front of the judge, and then we'll get tired of seeing them and do something with them.
Ryan, would you like to make any other comments on this? You're welcome to. Oh, all right. Yeah, right there. All right, we have another question here, and this is from Nick Donovan. It says, the question, I'll just read it as it's on the card. What are the plans to get more of the sheriff's department on the interstate, off the interstate, and onto more county roads, rural parts of the county patrolling, that sort of thing? So, last time, I think Josh went first. I'll let Ryan go first this time.
The plans that I have that involve patrolling, it does cover the interstate as well, because like I said, that part of that 117 state highway miles does include the interstate, and we have to patrol that. But what we also, need to do is we also have to patrol our roads as well. Every motorist that travels our roads deserves to be protected by us. What we will do is we will travel every road, and every day, not just once. In a given shift, if in an 8-hour shift, there's no reason the deputy can't drive, 100 to 150 miles on his cruiser. And if we have every one of our deputies doing that, every road, every house, everything is covered multiple times, which is what we want and what you want. You want your house protected, your property protected, and the people that you're passing on the roadways, you want them to be safe, and obviously that would protect you. So what we would do is patrol every road every day, and patrol the interstates. We would patrol inside subdivisions. We will hit multiple times the city of Glencoe, the city of Sparta, and the city of Warsaw. And all the subdivisions that are on Highway 16, that are on 184, that are on Johnson Road, Boone Road. Every road, every subdivision, we will get there, we will stop, and we will talk to people, and we will be more involved with the people that live there. When we stop, that will provide them an opportunity to talk to us, to tell us their concerns, so that they don't have to drive to Warsaw to find us or call 911. If we're out there on the roads and we're stopping and we're talking to them, they're more apt, the opportunities are there for them to tell us what they see. So, my plan would be simply that, community-oriented policing.
Thank you very much. Okay, the second question is what your plan is basically to get the sheriff's department off the interstate and on more county roads and rural parts.
As far as the patrol of the interstate, we have, of a day, we have assigned hours that people will patrol Glencoe and Sparta. And if they're making their pass from Glencoe to Sparta, Sparta to Glencoe, and they happen to run across a violator, it's probably in that passing. Because we have to, what we do is we have a lap over a shift. Sometimes we'll have 2 people out, or sometimes 3, between the hours of about 6 o'clock and midnight. And that's due to the fact that we have a lap over. So when that happens, that we assign areas for those deputies to go to, whether Sparta, Glencoe, or if we just have 2 out, we have 1 that works the county, serving papers, because we serve anywhere from 30 to 40 papers. We get 30 to 40 a day in. We have to make numerous attempts, and those papers are spread all over the county, from one end to the other. So when we get to serving these papers, we may get on Walnut Valley and then get a domestic in Mars Place. That's almost a 20-mile drive to get there. There's no easy way to get there. Or if you're patrolling between Glencoe and Sparta of a night, just to make the loop, sometimes they go across 467, sometimes they go to the interstate. As we're making the rounds, we make traffic stops everywhere. And I know the state police work the interstate a lot. Have been working a lot here lately due to the summer months. I've talked to the troopers. I've talked to the post captain, who's a new captain. We meet actually Friday to formally introduce myself, but I spoke with him on the phone, and we're going to address some issues like that, because I don't feel that they do enough on our interstate, because we're kind of so far out of the post district that we have had several fatalities on the interstate, and a lot of them due to speed related. So, those are issues we're going to address with him. But as far as we make traffic stops everywhere in the county. And it's just when it's in the passing, if they see a violator, then they stop them. So, but it's in the transition, from one area to the next, because that's the quickest way from point A and point B is the 55 to the 62. Thank you.
All right, thank you both very much. Now it's time for closing comments by each candidate. Josh went first with the opening statements. We'll let Ryan go first with the closing statements.
In closing, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here and listening to us, supporting your county and your community by being here, and supporting us candidates as well. That's important to me, and it's obviously important to you, and it's important to the people at home that are viewing in. And I personally appreciate that. Several years ago, obviously, we had a huge meth problem. It was the single most drug that affected almost everyone in here. Everyone in here probably knows somebody, heard something, had it affected your family somehow. And we did do a good job at getting rid of the drugs, get rid of the meth. We put a lot of the meth cookers in prison. We buckled down on them, and we did a very good job at getting them to either move out of our county because they knew they were going to get busted, or we put them in prison. And one of the biggest tools, in my opinion, the absolute best tool that was used to target meth and to get meth off the street was the NPLEX program. What NPLEX is the National Precursor Log Exchange. That probably means nothing to you, but what it probably does is if you went to the pharmacy to get cold medicine and it contained Sudafed, you had to show your driver's license, right? And when you did that, that program, they swiped it through, it was real time, and it gave real time purchases for pseudoephedrine to us as police officers. I was the administrator of that account. I got our deputies involved in it. Troopers used it. City Police, the Warsaw City Police got involved in it. And what it did when person A went to buy Sudafed, and they used it for the purposes of cooking meth, and we knew it, or we were watching them, or we had reports from citizens about something going on, we would watch them. And it would send an email right to our phone that so-and-so just bought Sudafed from Walmart in Carrollton or Walgreens on Mall Road. And we got real time. And we could sit and watch and wait for them to come back. And then you could get on there and you could check a couple minutes before and a couple minutes after, and we knew it. And we're getting them. So that tool provided us the opportunities to target these people even more. Numerous convictions were a direct result of this program that I helped get started here for our deputies. And our deputies, and you got to give them the credit because they took the information and went with it, as well as the troopers and the city police. I feel that now has shifted to heroin, and we need to do something about it. The time to sit back and to answer calls for overdoses and to sit back and watch people just get addicted to it and get hooked on it, it absolutely ruins their lives. Everybody probably knows somebody or has somebody in their family or has heard somebody that has been affected by heroin. I've been affected by it, and I'm sure you have too. The time to get after it and the time to stop it is now. We cannot wait any longer. If we wait longer, the problem is going to continue. We have to get behind our legislation, and we have to push for stiffer penalties on heroin, which is currently in the session, and hopefully they get that done. And then hopefully your local law enforcement, your sheriff's department is going to combat that, and we're going to go after that. And as your sheriff, what I'm going to do is, declare a war on the heroin. We're going to put together the task force. We're going to go after them. We're going to get them. We're going to get it off our streets before it ever gets to the hands of our kids. And that's what we're going to do. That's why I want to be your sheriff. I want to get the heroin off the streets, and I want to provide the education to the kids in school, in the middle school, in the lower elementary, or in the upper elementary, the middle school, and the high school. We have to provide them the opportunities to be educated and to know the dangers of it. One of the programs that's coming in the schools is called The Leader in Me. And this program is, I've heard people, I kind of get choked up a little bit because it's so good. Hearing stories from the teachers, the principals, the people that are in our school, how they go to other schools and they have implemented The Leader in Me. And their discipline rates have dropped 70%. The report cards, kids that are making Fs are now not making Fs. They are taking pride in what they're doing. And it is drug education, it is alcohol education, it is sex education. It is education that's going to provide them with the foundation to be what we are right here, to be the professionals that you all are. And the Sheriff's Department, under my direction, is going to be directly involved in The Leader in Me, as I would challenge every business in the county to get involved, because those kids are going to be our leaders, and we have to work and provide them with the opportunities that they need and to be successful. So I'm asking you for your vote on May the 20th. I want to be your sheriff, and I want your support. And after elected, if I am elected, I want your support then, because there's no way that I can do this without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
As I said earlier, 4 years ago, the citizens of Gallatin County trusted me to do a job. And in the last 4 years, we have built a team. We've built things in our office. We have put people in place to do the grant stuff, to do the community-oriented stuff. We have, we've put a guy in charge of the drug dog. He works very hard at that, trains very hard, and with that in mind, that is the main focus, to spearhead every issue that the county arrives at. And it may be drugs today, it may be thefts tomorrow, because ultimately these people are addicted to drugs. They have to come up with the money somehow. So not only are we fighting the drug issue, but we're also fighting thefts, petty thefts, things like that. So, all the guys that work the streets, they do an absolute wonderful job. And it's because of the foundation we laid. We have 8 road guys plus myself. But then again, it takes a team effort. And not only team from my department, but the city, you guys, everybody, even the counties that surround us. I mean, working with agencies in Boone County, and we're fortunate to have a gentleman here from Independence Police who I've known now for about 10 years. We get calls from those guys all the time. He lives in our county. And he says, hey, I've noticed so-and-so's been coming into this local drugstore buying lye. Or they're up here hanging around this subdivision, and this tag comes back to this house on this road. It's those partnerships like that we've built through the county surrounding us that makes our job effective. Because we have to work as a team, not just Gallatin County, not just the citizens, but the counties that surround us. And on May 20th, what I ask is, let's keep moving forward. We've made great progress. We've jumped some big hurdles. We are the smallest county in the state. But I can tell you, the times I've been to Frankfort talking with Dan Schmoot, who's over the United Drug Strike Force, I've talked to numerous congressmen, state representatives. Those are the type of contacts that we need. Yeah, we may be a small county, but we can sure be heard with a big voice. And that's what I want to do. I want to carry the county. I want to take us to that next level. So May 20th, I appreciate your vote to re-elect me for sheriff. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, both of you. You're both very, very well spoken. if the two that have been talking all this time now are probably thinking, well, good, I get to get up and leave now. That's not true, I'm afraid, because these guys have been sitting here listening to you all tonight, so we're going to have them show their support to you as well. And so if there's no objections, I'm going to go ahead and get started with on the coroner side of things here. We do have two of the candidates here tonight. We have Ken Larry and Don Kennedy, and I'm glad to have both of you. I'm going to let you all, like we did the other group, I'm going to let you all start off by making opening statements, introduce yourself and all that good stuff. And then I'll get right to the questions, okay? All right, I'll start off with Ken, okay? You stand right there.
I'd like to thank you all for coming. My name is Ken Lafferty. Many of you I know, many of you I've worked with, played with. I was born and raised in Owens County, but just on the Owens County side of the creek. I was born and raised in Sparta. 90% of what we did as a family, though, was in Gallatin County, from shopping to going to church. My first job out of school brought me to Gallatin County. That was 30 years ago. In the 30 years since then, every job I've ever held, I have dealt directly with the citizens of Gallatin County in some type of service job, whether it was the job I hold now for a gas company. I owned my own business a while in Warsaw, and then for 15 years before that, I was at another service job in Sparta. Gallatin County and the people of Gallatin County mean the world to me. I married my wife. She was the former Shirley Stewart of Steele's Bottom. 22 years ago, we moved to Steele's Bottom, and we're still there. Raised both our girls. They came through the school system here in town. They are both graduated out of high school now. The oldest, Katie's, graduated college. The youngest, Kennedy, is in college. I decided now is the time to get involved, to give back to the county. I thought by this time it would just be me and Shirley at home, but no, those girls are still at home. I have always been very community minded. From several years ago, serving on the life squad in the fire department at Sparta, to different functions through the community when the girls were in school. I was training a boy I worked with from Cincinnati when I followed run. He says, how does a guy run for coroner? He said, no matter who the coroner is, he does the same job. You can't say, well, I'm going to be judge, so I'll be able to do better bridges and better roads. You're a coroner. I think that's when you need to step outside the box. You've got to look for different ways. The one thing I would really like to do, the Sheriff's Department and our law officials have done an excellent job through the DARE program, and I would like to get the coroner's office involved in the DARE program. You know what it was when he was growing up. He was invincible. The kids have to realize they're not invincible, that there are many things that will greatly affect them and even kill them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'll remind you there is a 3-minute limit on the thing. So, all right, Tom's like to make your opening statement.
My name is Don Kennedy. Most of you know me as Donnie Joe in the county. I've been known as that ever since I've been in the county for several years. I was born in Grant County, right on the county line between Grant and Gallatin County line. I went to Grant County High School and graduated from Grant County High School. but I went to 10 Mile Baptist Church. And I used to hate those Gallatin and Grant County ball games because I'd have to either go to church and face the people in Gallatin County or go to Grant County and face the people in Grant County. And I'm not used to a mic, so. Anyway, let you know a little bit about myself. I did graduate from Grant County High School. I went on to the University of the Cumberlands, which at that time was called Cumberland College, and graduated from there in '72. Then I went into Southern Seminary in Louisville and graduated from there in '76. Then I decided all of a sudden I'd become bivocational, and I went into the nursing field and was a nurse. Graduated from Jewish Hospital School of Nursing with a diploma in 1980. I chose the bivocational line of work over doing either pastoral work or nursing, and I think God has blessed me with both of those. I've worked at several hospitals. I worked at Old Booth. I worked at St. Luke. I've worked at St. Elizabeth. I've worked at Grant County. I've worked in several different units. I've worked in all the way from behavioral health to pediatrics to labor, and I did not work in labor and delivery. But I have worked in ICU and CCU and also in the emergency room. I've seen all types of deaths in the emergency room. I have worked, not braggingly, but I've worked hand in hand with Mary Lee Lanham, who was or Mary Lee Willoughby, she was a Lanham, who was coroner of Grant County for several years. In several deaths that have come in our emergency room. You know, I wondered as I was thinking about what I was going to say tonight, you know, I wanted to emphasize the nursing career mainly. But I also came up with the idea that the pastoral relationship would come in. Because if somebody is called and somebody has been involved in an automobile accident and it's been deceased, I have to go and knock on their door and tell them that they're dead. They're no longer with us. And, you know, that's the time that you have to bring comfort. My son-in-law told me the night before I came to not emphasize that part of it. But you have to deal with them, whether it be anger, whether it be tears, whether it be shouting, whatever type of feelings that they have. And you'll find all types of fears that you have to deal with. So that's where I'm coming from tonight. I feel like that I'm qualified for the position, and if I'm elected to the position here in Gallatin County, I will serve you. I am retired, basically. I do little jobs on the side at the present time, but I will give you 100% of my time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you. All right, I'm going to, yours will be shorter because we didn't get any questions from the audience, so hint, if y'all want to do anything back there. Okay. Let's see. Start off with Ken. So the first question, and I'll start off with you, Don. Other than performing the basic duties of the coroner, what other strengths should someone have to make a truly effective county coroner?
Well, I think both Ryan and Josh has hit up on it, the drug problem, and I meant to say something in my introduction. The drug problem would be something that I would be tremendously to deal with, especially the heroin problem. You know, I've seen pediatric patients pass. I've seen young adults pass. I've seen geriatric patients pass. But the drug problem is probably one of the biggest problems around us. And you know, as coroner, I would hate to go see someone that has shot a needle into their arm, into their vein, and expired for that reason.
All right, Ken, same question to you. Other than performing the basic duties of the coroner, what other strengths should someone have to make a truly effective county coroner?
Going back to the statement I made about the education program through the DARE program. Josh, Ryan, whoever is leading the DARE program can go to these kids and say, you know, this is what drugs will do to you. You know, we can incarcerate you. We can put you in prison. We can, you know, they're going to mess up your lives. And they go back to that, I'm invincible. I can do it.
It's not gonna affect me. But you know what? You go and you tell them about the 17-year-old kid you picked up that wasn't invincible. That we cannot spend too much on trying to educate. We're not going to save them all. We never are. But that one kid we do save will be well worth it. Don and Joe even mentioned the counseling. That is one thing. We have so many people, and watch me on my time because I have no idea what time it is. We have so many people that travel through our county, through the interstate, on the river, through the racetrack, that if they have a loss, many times they have nobody to turn to. And not only the coroner as a counselor, but I would like to have a team of counselors on call, whether it be pastors, professional counselors, that are there for these people in that time.
All right. Thank you very, very much. All right. The next question, this time, let's see, I guess I'll start with you. Ken, if elected coroner, what changes, if any, would you make to improve the office of the office of the coroner in Gallatin County? I don't necessarily mean physical office, I just mean the office of the coroner in Gallatin County. And if these changes require additional funding, where do you think the funding might come from?
From the very beginning, one of the first suggestions I had was the coroner's office, the actual physical office of Gallatin County Coroner, needs to be an office to begin with. That's something we don't have. The coroner's office, and it's been tradition, the coroner's office right now is in the coroner's home. And that goes back to when the Undertaker's was coroner. The office was at the funeral home. The coroner's office needs to be in town. I've spoken with Josh, I've spoken with Ryan both. There's office space available for the coroner to use as office space in the sheriff's building. That would tie your jailer, your sheriff, and your coroner. That would put them all in the same building. Where it'd be so much easier for transfer of information. That would be my first change I would make. Then the other two, getting the coroner's office involved in the educational programs and the panel of counselors.
Very good. Thank you. You want to give it to John? And John, I'll re-review the question. If elected coroner, what changes, if any, would you make to improve the office of the coroner in Gallatin County? And if these changes require additional funding, where would this funding come from?
Never having been coroner and never dealt too much with coroner in Gallatin County or any other county, to be honest with you, it's real difficult for me to answer about the financial part because I don't know. I've not spoke with Tracy to find out exactly where that would come from, how that would come about. I don't really know. I just asked Josh tonight about the office because I'd seen Ken's article in the paper, and he was talking about the office being in the sheriff's office along with the jail. And I think that is a good idea. And, you know, as I spoke earlier telling you about my retirement, that would give me time to be there. It would give me time to be with my deputies and work with my deputies in establishing maybe a better working environment.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very, very much. And then I have, this time, I ask you, well, this is probably I think you all have already answered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I just want to know sort of what you see as the most basic role of the coroner's office. Now, the reason I ask this question is because I wasn't until recently informed how the duties and some of the powers that the coroner actually has in the state of Kentucky, and I was quite surprised, actually. And so, because of that, I wanted to ask you what you see as the most basic role of the county coroner. I think it should go back to Don.
Well, of course, again, as you think of coroner, you think of pronunciation, pronouncing someone that's deceased.
Right.
Or expired, whichever word you want to use. But then the second thing is basically dealing with families. And that's a big emphasis on my part because you'll have to deal with families. I mean, like I said earlier, whatever emotions they're demonstrating is what you'll have to deal with. And you'll have to be prepared and ready to deal with that because you deal with all types of emotions.
Okay, thank you. And then you want to pass it on? And I think you know the question was, what do you see as the most basic role of the coroner in Gallatin?
The Kentucky coroner is a sworn police, or not sworn police, but sworn peace officer in the state of Kentucky. The Kentucky coroner holds a great deal of power when it comes to legalistic issues. They do pronounce at death. A lot of times when you hear coroner, you know, in one of the articles I had written, I went back, you know, we all think of Quincy. We remember Quincy every week doing the autopsies. The Kentucky coroner does not do autopsies. If an autopsy is required, then the coroner does transport the body to the medical examiner's office where the autopsies performed. The coroner has to notify next of kin, has to be there, as Donnie says, to have the shoulder to cry on, to be willing to listen and to take the frustrations of the ones that's left. But the coroner also has to start the investigation, to look at what's surrounding the death, and whether, you know, it does warrant extra investigation through the sheriff's department, through the state police. But it is a very investigative type position.
Thank you all very much. Now I'm going to ask that each of you can give any your closing statement that you'd like to make. And I think we did, Ken started with the opening statement, so Don, I'll let you begin with the closing statement, okay?
As far as the closing statement is simply that I would appreciate your vote on May the 20th. My name appears number 5 on the ballot. So it's way down there. You have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to it. But anyway, that's my closing statement. All right.
As I stand before you tonight, I thank you for your time. You know, y'all had a lot better things to do tonight than sit there and listen to me. I want to be your coroner. Like I said, it's time for me to start giving back to the county. I want to be there when you need me. If you call the Life Squad, it's a bad time. But hopefully something good comes out. They get you or your loved one to the hospital. If you call the sheriff's office, it's a bad time. But hopefully things turn out. If the coroner's office has to come to your house, it's bad. There's no other way to put it. My promise to you is I will show the greatest amount of compassion and dignity when I'm working with your loved one. That is something there's no way. It's kind of like the education. It can never be too much. It can never be too much. I have dealt with death pretty much all my life. Like Donnie Joe said he had. I've had parents die when I was teenagers. I've lost siblings at young ages. I've lost grandparents at old ages. I've had nieces and nephews die as infants. Through the church, I've seen, additionally, deaths from car wrecks, cancer, old age, suicide. I've been there through all of it. I know what a lot of you go through when you have death in your family or your loved ones. And I will be there for you. May 20th, I appreciate your vote. Again, like free for
All right, well, I'd like to begin, I want to disagree with something that Ken said, because he said y'all had a better place to be tonight than right here. But I disagree with that, because what y'all are seeing right here is real, I don't know, it's American spirit in action right here. That's what you're really seeing. You're seeing people an involved voting block of adults, and that's what we need. I wish we had a room twice this size and could fill it up more than that, because that's what our world needs right now. This country needs that right now more than anything else. So while I appreciate all these gentlemen coming in tonight to speak, you can't imagine how much I appreciate you all coming to listen to them, because it shows. I know you're here on somebody's side, everything else, you're showing your support, but you know what? Y'all get out there and spread the word about these people and about this event, and maybe in years to come we'll fill up a whole lot more than this with a community forum like this. I want to thank so much, Fran Axon, thank you so much for coming in and saying a few words to us. Grandy's running for, not Attorney General, next year, I'm sure, okay. And Rick Rugerman, back in the back. Rick, thank you so much. Rick is running for circuit judge. Y'all probably remember him from the county fair last year. He and his family were there. All 117 of them were there, and it was great to see him and his family here. So it was great. Brian, Josh, and Don and Ken, you guys are 4 gentlemen, and I appreciate y'all coming tonight to share your views on the office that you're doing. And I want to encourage everyone to remember that May the 20th, go out and get out there and vote. It's coming up, and tell your friends to. Make sure they get out there and vote. And at this point, I think we're going to call this over, and I'm not going to run you out, so y'all can meet and greet some more, okay? But right now, we're done. So thank you all very much. Give a round of applause one more time. Thank you.